Hello everybody and welcome back to TTL. My name is Kieran McGinley and today it's round 9 at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. Without further ado then, let's go into the driver's standings. So at the top of the table is Blizzard on 136, Darren Sinclair in second on 126. Spike is in third on 95 points, Straw in fourth on 80 points. Light E is fifth on 42 points, Siege has 40 points, that puts him in sixth. Lambo only a point behind in 7th place on 39, Raikkonen in 8th on 37, the Gort's only a point behind Raikkonen, 36 points which puts him 9th, and Mays is in 10th on 29 points. In 11th place is Poe on 28 points, Sao Paulo is in 12th on 25, Humbug in 13th on 24 points, Useless in 14th on 22. Crazy is 15th on 15 points, Shunts in 16th on 8 points, joint with him is Z3. Steph is in 18th place on 6 points, Alan Kay is 19th on 3 points, joint with him is Weed Nation. And also joint with them is Pazels. And joint 22nd, Geordie, Plaster, both on 1 point. Little Piece has since been disqualified from the series. Onto the constructors table then, Williams are at the top on 151, Toro Rosso in second on 129, Renault in third on 101, Force India are in fourth with 92 points, Sauber in fifth on 87, Mercedes have 76 points, that puts them sixth, McLaren are in seventh on 68 points, Ferrari have 50 points which puts them eighth, Red Bull have 38 points, that puts them 9th, and Haas in 10th at the bottom there with 12 points. Without further ado then, let's go straight into the hot lap.
So here we are then, on a lap of Austria. Not many corners to talk about, but it's all important as we head towards the start line on board with Weed Nation. And heading towards turn 1, it's uphill, and you've got the curb on the right hand side here. Try not to take too much of that, it could force you wide, and that'll invalidate your lap time. As you're heading now towards turn 2, slight left-hander of turn 2, then coming up to the right-hander of turn 3. Make sure you're braking just after the 100-metre board. Again, watch that sleeping policeman on the right-hand side. Don't run too wide there, it can punish your lap time. Over the DRS now, as you're heading down towards turn 4, and here you've got to be braking downhill, so make sure you brake just slightly earlier. Easy to lock up into this corner, so make sure you have it just nice and smooth. Avoid the curb on the left-hand side there on the exit. Through the slight kink of turn 5, keep it to the far right-hand side as possible as you head into turn 6. Always a difficult one. This one tests the aerodynamics of the car. Don't run too wide and use all the track on the right-hand side there as you turn into turn 7. Through the kink of 8, and as you head towards turn 9 now, over the crest, it's a blind crest, and watch out here for anyone on the pit lane because it goes over the racing line as you go over turn 9. Watch the curves here going into turn 10 especially, as that could launch the car in the air. But that's a lap of Austria as we head towards the start-finish line. Now let's go on to qualifying.
The hills will soon be alive with the sound of V6 hybrid engines. Yes, it's cliched, I know, but wouldn't be F1 commentary if there wasn't a cliche in there once every so often. Well, it's quite interesting actually. We haven't always been racing in Spielberg for the track's life. In 1964 it was held on an airfield with 2 long straights and a couple of corners. Not much has changed really since we've moved to Spielberg. 9 corners of this track, and we're looking at sub 1 minute 10s in terms of qualifying, or at least we should be anyway. The pole position lap here in the actual race in 2017 was set by Valtteri Bottas, a 104.2. But I've never ever in this game seen anyone get below a 1 minute 7. Maybe I could be proved wrong today, as we're going to see here. Plaster is the first person out on track, and we're going to get some details up here. So as you can see there, Raikkonen and Steph planning to go out on the super soft tyres. They haven't left just yet, but we will get that lap data up here, and also that telemetry which we always have for qualifying. Heading down the second DRS straight now, heading into turn 3. Round we go into this mid section here. Always a test of the car's aerodynamics here, going into turn 4, and as you head through into turn 5, into Wirth curve, and then into 6, as we head towards the corner of Rindt, named after the only posthumous Formula 1 world champion in its history, Jochen Rindt. But as we see now, Plaster coming towards the start-finish line now, It's a very quick lap here, and possibly you may be able to have time to have 3 laps if you really want to. Plus then into turn 1 we go, heading now towards, you can see in the distance the trees and the hills of Spielberg. Watch out for the bull in the middle of the circuit. We'll soon come across that in just a section. A course called the Red Bull Ring now came back to the track in 2014 after a long absence from the calendar. In fact, it's been absent from the calendar since 2003 before it was brought back in 2014, and a 10-year absence there or thereabouts. A whole decade of not coming to Austria. Now it's back though, and we have this high-speed racing coupled with these couple of corners here in Sector 2. And Plaster then coming around turn number 6. Or is that 7? I can never tell. It's turn 6. I said it was 9 corners. It can be 9 or 8 corners, depending on which map you look at. The map I'm looking at has 8 corners, so that may change in qualifying, depending on which map I find in the end. Plaster then 108.6. Poe goes faster, 106.8. Swap it around, and there you go. We're going into uncharted territory for me now, as we've got Lambo here, 106.4. Baumgartner set a 108.1 as Humbug. As we move on to Humbug here, who set a 107.3. Weed Nation 107.1. Light E sets a 106.6. Alan K puts himself on the board on 107.7. We've also got Steph on the board, 107.3 on super soft tyres. Useless currently in P9 there, as he sets a 107.7. The Gort put himself up the field there, 107.1. Blizzard, championship leader, 4th place right now as he loses that back end and just about keeps the car under control. We see then all the other drivers here who could be setting a lap. Spike, is he one of them? I'm not entirely sure, but he locks up coming into turn 3 here. And it all depends whether you count that kink between turns 1 and 2 as a corner. Some track maps do, some track maps don't. I'll have to search up the official Formula 1 circuit. As Traw sets the fastest lap of the race, he goes 106.2. Darren Sinclair, who is fighting for this championship, seemingly on an outlap right now, as we've got a Williams and a Ferrari on the same bit of track as the Williams goes off. That's Blizzard there, trying to get out of the way of Z3. So Z3 and Darren Sinclair, of the cars out on track, yet to set a lap, but Darren Sinclair comes into the pit lane. Z3 will carry on as he loses that back end very slightly, coming towards that start-finish line now. DRS wide open. What's the lap time he's going to set? It's a 107.4, puts him 11th place. So currently Traw is at the top with a 106.2. Can anybody go faster? So Darren Sinclair in the pits, as is Spike, Mays and Pazels is leaving the pit lane now. Still got that pit limiter on, as making his way up there. It's always a tricky pit lane to get out of Austria, but if you can get out of there scot-free, it always helps. As we'll see now, some of the guys in the pit lane here. We've got the Renault there of, I believe that's Spike, getting wheeled back into the garage. I'm not entirely sure though. As we've got the Sauber there of Traw, I believe that is coming in as well. So 15 drivers have set a lap time at the moment, as we see Mays here leaving the garage. I'm assuming then he's going for 2 laps, as we'll see him leave the pit lanes. Busy pit lane now, as drivers are starting to try and get out there. Hazel's then still out there, and I wonder what is going to be, what his lap time is going to be. Scored some crucial points last time out in Baku, and he'll be hoping to build on that momentum coming through into Austria. Austria is a very difficult track, and I'm about to prove it. As we see here, not often you get 1 second between the top 8 in qualifying. Normally the top drivers extend their lead by 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, whatever. But to have a second basically covering the top 8 right now, it just goes to show that one mistake, one slightly late braking zone, and that's your lap done. A tenth could be the difference here between a position or two. So it's very important that you get the right moves and get the right racing line the first time around, or at least on your qualifying lap. We ride on board with Pazos here as he heads into Sector 2 now, and he should be setting a lap time this time around. As we ride on board with him heading into this left-hand here, using all that track, and he will be hoping to try and set a competitive lap time. He'll come up towards Rindt here. And, oh, he's lost the back end and he's lost the car completely there as the Sauber goes off just at the last corner. And, well, Pazos there just going to set a lap time. He might as well now. He's missed the pit lane, so he'll come across the line. He'll have the slowest time of all as he sets a 1:15.4. So who else is on the lap we can watch? As Alan Kay slowing down. We've got Poe out there. He's on a lap now. As we've got a car ahead of him as well. We've got the Gort setting a lap. I wonder if he'll be the first one to set a lap in this second round. Baumgartner here. Spike sets a 1:06.1. Completely under the radar from me. We'll have a look on board with Darren Sinclair. Now, is he on a lap or is he on an out lap? I believe this is him on a flying lap. So he's heading towards Rindt now. Into turn 8, according to my map. But he comes into the pit lane again. Obviously not happy with the car, Darren Sinclair. But there we go, comes back into the pit lane. Alan Kay does not improve on his lap time. He'll go around again. As I try and find someone who's close to the end of their lap. I believe the Gort is the last or the first person out there to set a lap time anyway. We've got Lambo up ahead on an out lap. So the Gort here is, you can see by the lap time there that he's not going to set a new lap time. So we'll ride on board with Lizard, is that? No, that's Poe. But we have Steph there on the Ultrasofts setting a 1:06.4. As Baumgartner, oh, big collision there, as I think that was when Baumgartner went to retire from the main menu. He's obviously caught, is that, oh, I'm not entirely sure who that was he caught up there. Was that Humbug he caught up there? It was Humbug. So that is, well, I'm not entirely sure what has gone on there. As Z3 retires from the session. So, well, there we go. Alan Kay then puts himself up to 14th as he gets ready to retire from the session. We have who is out there on the lap right now as the Renault of Steph gets out of the way as Mays goes through. Raikkonen here, still looking to try and get himself up the field. Finds himself in 11th at the moment as the Gort now retires from the session. As does Poe. As Poe's found himself into the wall there. Lambo sets a 1:06.0. Fantastic pace from the Force India right now. And did that have anything to do with the Gort there, I wonder? Meanwhile then, we're going to focus back on qualifying. Lambo's still out there and he's still going quicker. As we've got another yellow flag in Sector 2. I think that's just someone trying to get out of the way very desperately. And we'll see what happens there. So yeah, I've just had a look at the official Formula 1 map, and yeah, there are 9 corners. I knew there were 9 corners. It does count the slight kink in the left-hander, as Alan Kay's been disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location. So he will start from the back of the grid. Darren Sinclair then, on his way to try and set a lap, and you feel this time it's going to be his last chance. Heading into what is now going to be turn 3, now that I call it, now that they've got the right map up. Plaster retires from the session. We'll start from P17. We've got Mays retiring as well, so a load of cars retiring because they feel they can't improve on their lap. But heading into turn 4, now into this, now it counts this as a corner as well, turn 5. There's actually 10 corners. It's amazing how different people interpret the track, but according to the actual Formula 1 calendar on the circuit there, they display 10 corners. So that's what we're going to go off for the race then. So into turn 9 and then into turn 10 for Darren Sinclair. This is his last chance now, and he's got it wrong. He's got it horribly wrong. He caught the curb there, knew he wasn't going to set a good lap time, and has put it into the wall there. Well, Darren Sinclair there will be starting from P18. Raikkonen out there on a lap at the moment, so is Troll. Can Troll try and take pole position here? Raikkonen also on a lap, but we'll see what he can do. Useless into the pits. So we've got Troll then coming around the final corner, turn 10. As he heads towards the DRS zone, he'll head towards the line. What's the lap he can set? It's a 106.1. It doesn't put him up the table. Stays in 3rd place. And Raikkonen heads into the pits as well. So then, that's qualifying over and done with. And we'll have the full table and results after this edit. So then Lambo takes pole position, Spike is in 2nd, Chor is in 3rd place, Steph in 4th, Light E is 5th, Poe is in 6th, Raikkonen 7th, Mays in 8th, Useless is 9th, We Nation 10th, Blizzard starts outside of the top 10, The Gore is in 12th, Humbug 13th, Z3 14th, Baumgartner 15th, Pazel 16th, Plaster 17th, Darren Sinclair starts from 18th, and Alan Kay will start from the back of the grid. So the Austrian Grand Prix then coming up after this edit. Well, it's glorious sunshine, it looks like. I mean, we don't have the weather in the commentary box. We never have, and we probably never will in this game. But something we can say is, well, I still can't decide what map to use. Whether to use the turn 10 corner from the official Formula 1 website, or to whether to use this one that has 9 corners. I think we'll stick with the 10 corner one then, so that we absolutely know. Anyway, what am I talking about? We're going to go into the Austrian Grand Prix, where the hills here are going to be absolutely loving the sound of these V6 hybrid engines. We're going to go onto the formation lap now and find out what everyone's strategy is. Away they go then for their formation lap, and let's have a look at the drivers we need to be watching for this session. So Lambo put it on pole position ahead of Spike there, and Spike here will be hoping to put himself up the table even more. Had not a fantastic race at all in Baku, so he'll be hoping to bounce back. Troy, who's been in and out of the podium all season so far, he'll be hoping to keep up his good form. Never rule out Raikkonen. He may be starting on the ultra soft tyres here, but usually starting on a harder compound. Today he'll be starting on the tyres he qualified on. Look out for him into the race. Blizzard here, starting outside of the top 10, has opted to start on the ultra soft tyres. He did have the option to start on supers or softs, but he's gone for the ultra softs. The Gort then, the first of the soft runners. Watch out for him. Baumgartner on the super softs, but ahead of Pazel's here. And Darren Sinclair, watch out for him coming through the field, as both of the Toro Rossos struggled in qualifying. Darren Sinclair never got a clean lap in, and Alan Kay was disqualified by the game for parking in a dangerous location. It's going to be short, it's going to be an action-packed Grand Prix, and as the drivers now come up and line up onto the grid, it's going to be a fantastic race, I can tell you that. The Austrian Grand Prix then coming up after this edit. So here we go, the 5 red lights are on, I hope. It's lights out, off they go. What are the starts like? Looks like a good start all round here. Lambo's got a good start, and the Spike tries to go up the inside. Keeps his front wing clean for now as they head through turn 1. Got a couple of cars running wide there, but clean so far throughout the field. Let's have a look on board with a load of drivers here, as we're heading towards turn 3 now. And what are the starts like heading into turn 3 here? Looks like it's clean at the moment, but looks like the drivers out there just keeping it clean between each other. Mays here losing positions. He's running side by side with Useless here as he heads into turn 4. Down the inside he goes, and is he going to try and squeeze Useless out there? No, he's not. Tries to divert himself away here now on the outside of Light E, heading into turn 6. And now still Eustace is still on the inside, and Eustace, does he give way there? Yes, he does. And Mays holds on then to 8th place. The Gort, starting from down the field, finds himself in 12th place on those soft tyres. And as you can see, he's trying to defend from Humbug. Humbug trying to go round the outside, and oh, that could have ended in a nasty way. Humbug just lost the back end there. Now the Gort's lost the back end now as well, so Humbug could have a chance to try and take a position here as we head into turn 1 once again, and all the cars file through as we've got a Toro Rosso there up the inside of Pazels. That's Darren Sinclair trying to charge his way through the field on those soft tyres, and he's now side by side with Pazels as we head through turn 2 into turn 3 now. Like I said before, it's a difficult numbering system, this one, to number all the corners, but I found the up-to-date one. It is 10 corners, so we're going to go with that. Darren Sinclair then heading down the second DRS straight. We've got Blizzard up ahead then, up the inside of Useless. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. And Weed Nation here could try and find himself up the inside of Useless as they head towards turn 6. And very difficult place to overtake here, Austria. But you've got the 2 DRS zones to try and help you out just a little bit. As we're going to see here, the Williams, does he try it? No, he doesn't. Up the inside, going into Nicky Lauda there. Turn 7, that is. We head through to turn 9, the Jochen Rindt corner, as we head through now into turn 10. Lambo 109.4 is the fastest lap of the race, as we see a McLaren there running wide. Now we've got Weed Nation on the slipstream of Useless. Now he's trying to use the outside line, heading into turn 1. Has he got that move done? Round the outside, oh, they've made contact! You got Weeds in the wall, we've got Useless, and is that... I'm trying to think, is that the Gort who followed them as well? I think it was. I don't know whether the Gort was caught up in that or not. Has he got front wing damage? Yes, he has. So Useless, Weed and the Gort there all coming together, and the Gort has decided to retire from the session after that incident. So the two of them are still going to fight it out here, and Weed Nation letting Useless back through, and there we go. There we have it there. So the Gort then retires from the session after that incident. So here we go then, Weed and Useless. I think they've both got front wing damage, so they'll both be heading towards the pit lane. Meanwhile then, we've got Blizzard here on the back of Raikkonen, and heading into turn number 9. Always an awkward pit entry, that. Have a look at that as we head through, as Lambo loses a position to Spike here. He's made a mistake out of the final corner because he's now lost a position to Traw. As we see here, Poe trying to go up the inside of Steph going into turn 1. He runs wide here, and Steph holds on to that position for now. And Darren Sinclair making his way up the field as well. Coming into turn 1, we've got Baumgartner there running wide as well. But this is Darren Sinclair on the back of Pazels, as Blizzard here now makes his way past Raikkonen. We're going to jump back on board with Darren Sinclair as he tries to fight off Pazels here. We've got the Red Bull of Plaster there right on his tail. Further up the field then, Poe has tried to lunge it down the inside of Steph, run too deep though, and Steph can just take that position back. Pazels then still under pressure from Darren Sinclair, and heading into turn 6 now. It's very difficult to keep up with 18 cars that are in the race with only 10 corners on the track. It's very high speed, but there we go. Pazels, did he make a mistake there? Did Pazels? I'm not entirely sure, but whatever the reason is, Darren Sinclair is now up into 12th place, now chasing down Baumgartner. Blizzard then on the back of Light E, and Light E, you can see the white icon there with the low bar. That means a low latency, so that means it's going to be difficult to overtake because the car's lagging. That's what that means. Baumgartner then and Darren Sinclair trying to fight it out, this for 11th place. Darren Sinclair trying to fight his way through the field, and well, we've got battles galore because I've missed Light E and Blizzard here, but as they're trying to go side by side. Darren Sinclair, did he find his way around the outside of Baumgartner? No, he doesn't. And now he's left himself open for Pazels here to try and slip back through. So Darren Sinclair finds himself again down into 13th place. And not good for him at all. Lambo and Traw now trying to go side by side going into turn 7. And that's a brave move from Lambo round the outside. But he's made the move stick. And he's now up into 2nd place. Blizzard and Light E trying to fight their way through the field as well, and Blizzard's desperate to try and get past him as we've got yellow flags, and Darren Sinclair and Pazels, have they come together? Oh, this is not good for Darren Sinclair at all. Has he got front wing damage? I believe he has on the left-hand side. Pazels there has it as well as Traw comes into the pit lane. Is there a front wing ready for him there? Yes, there is. So Traw, sorry. It took me 3 attempts to get that name right. But Traw into the pit lane then. On goes some soft tyres, and will Traw try and make it to the end now? Meanwhile, Blizzard and Light E fighting for position here as Blizzard here makes his way through, but Light E's not done with him there. As will he try and move down the inside? Yes, he will. Light E then trying to go down the inside of Blizzard, and yes, he's back through. Light E takes back 4th place. Raikkonen here trying to chase down Mays for 6th place. It's a bit of a hectic start here at the start of this Austrian Grand Prix, lap 6, and still a long way to go. Having a look at Z3 here. Sandwich between Plaster and Alan Kay here. As Plaster here looking to try and make those soft tyres last. They're all trying to do that as well. So they don't want to battle each other too much. Meanwhile then, this is Raikkonen coming into the pits. Now, is this a scheduled stop, I wonder? As he comes into the pits, stopping on lap 6. Is this a scheduled stop? It is a scheduled stop. On goes some super soft tyres, and away goes Raikkonen. Steph also in the pits. That looks like front wing damage on the right hand side there, and yes, it is. So Steph will have a front wing change and get back out there. Blizzard then on the back of Light E. This battle's going to go on for a while now, I know this. And Blizzard here, can he find a way past? He'll switch to the outside, heading towards turn number 4. As Light E holds onto that inside line, Blizzard might get a better exit as we head through now, coming towards turn 5. The slight kink there, now into 6. Very important to have a high aero there, but can Blizzard hold on in that dirty air? Light E's still holding on, coming into turn 7 through turn 8, and Light E's lost it, and so has Blizzard there. Blizzard lost it into the wall. Did he go? He just got some oversteer going through turn 8 there, and has lost his front wing. The championship leader loses his front wing and has to try and make his way back to the pit lane. Yep, he's coming into the pits, commits himself to that line, and well, this is a lifeline for Spike here, who currently leads the way. Both of his title rivals right now. Blizzard into the pits. Darren Sinclair's also had to come into the pits as well for front wing damage. So all Spike has to do, and I say all he has to do, it's a lot tougher than it sounds, but he needs to make it to the end without having to change his front wing. He'll have that advantage as long as he can do that. Easier said than done, of course, as Blizzard makes his way out of the pits. Now, where will he rejoin? Because we'll have a look at Darren Sinclair. He's coming around the final corner now. So Blizzard here coming towards turn 1. As long as he gets that absolutely right, he's going to rejoin ahead of Darren Sinclair, who sets the fastest lap of the race on some super soft tyres. 1:08.7 I believe I saw there. Could be wrong, but there we go. So Blizzard then heading into turn 3, rejoins in 14th place, has it all to do now. We have a look at the starts then. You can see the biggest winners in that start were Plaster and Alan Kay, both up 9 positions. Our biggest losers at the moment are Traw and Steph, but that's not representative because they've both made a stop, and it looks like a scheduled one too. Z3 then on the back of Plaster. Still those 3 try and battle on. Meanwhile, Humbug here is trying to find a way past Mays. Humbug, who didn't have a great qualifying, trying to go down the inside, going into turn 3, and he might have locked up there. Has Mays got a route back to try and make the overcut work there into the apex, trying to get a better line through there. As we head towards turn 4, Mays backs out of it, and so Humbug there up into 5th place. We see here Lighty in 4th place as he runs deep there going into 7. That's not an ideal line. Got it wrong there and has lost time on Poe. So Z3 here still trying to chase down Plaster. These 3, Plaster, Z3 and Alan Kay, are all within sort of 1.5 seconds, I'd call it, as Poe and Mays come into the pits. Lambo picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. That's going to be added to the end of his race. But these three here battling on some soft tyres. That's going to be an interesting battle heading through the latter stages of this race. Steph then closing in on Blizzard, is he? Or has Blizzard managed to get past? Either way, Steph is 9/10 behind. Blizzard then heading through, and maybe it's not the ideal strategy he wanted, but it could be a strategy that works out towards the end of the race. Through turn 1 he goes, the car number 4 of Blizzard, leading at the moment in the drivers' standings. A lot can change though, as we've got Z3 here trying to have a look up the inside of Plaster. Plaster holding on to 5th place for now, as he's got the increased pressure from Z3 and Alan Kay behind him. Poe trying to chase down Traw. Poe on super soft tyres, Traw on the soft tyres, and with a battle like this, it won't last too long, I don't think. Meanwhile though, Lambo into the pits. He's got a scheduled stop. On goes some super soft tyres, and that confirms that he might try a 2-stop here, Will Lambo. So I don't think those super soft tyres are going to last at the end of the race. So Z3 then, still trying to chase down Plaster. You can see there Lambo exiting the pit lane. Now will these guys be able to rejoin ahead of Lambo here? We're going to ride on board with Plaster because that's entirely possible. He's rejoined just ahead of them. And Plaster here could see and trying to attack Lambo going into turn 3. He doesn't though, holds on and holds the fort in 5th place. Meanwhile then, Poe trying to go down the inside of Traw going into turn 3, and Traw there having to use the sleeping policeman there, and Poe finds himself now up into 9th place. Further down the field, Weed Nation and Useless are still battling away after they're earlier off. So I wonder now how frustrated both of those are going to be. Darren Sinclair finds himself down into 17th place. Has he had to stop again, I wonder? No, he hasn't. He's just further down the field than maybe we expected, but we can see the battle up ahead as Weed Nation and Useless still trying to fight each other for 15th place. As the Gort got caught up in their battling. They both sort of ran into the side of each other. Of course, all will be revealed at the end of the race as Weed Nation hits the curb wrong and hits the wall, loses that back end, and again he's lost that front wing. And the first incident maybe investigated, but that second incident he's just been a bit too heavy with that right foot there, and has lost a bit of front wing as now Pazels passes him for 17th place. Weed Nation finds himself in 18th and with half a front wing. Raikkonen then around the outside of Alan Kay coming into turn 4 there. Alan Kay doesn't put up too much of a fight, but he will try the cutback here, but no dice, as you can see there Z3 struggling, as I wonder now if Poe will try and find a way past Alan Kay, because he's found a way past Z3, and this has allowed Plaster to just sort of go his way up the field. He's now 2.5 seconds ahead of Raikkonen here. And you can see this battling. There's Plaster. There's Spike has entered the pit lane, by the way. Puts on a set of soft tyres, which will take him to the end of the race. So you got Plaster there. There's Raikkonen, Alan Kay, Poe, Z3 will go through the picture, and then Traw. That's all a battle there for 5th place. Oh, and that's Alan Kay. Runs wide there as on those soft tyres, runs wide out of turn 1, loses all that time from the cars ahead. Mays passes him now for 9th place, and could have been a lot worse for Alan Kay though. He's lucky he kept out of the barrier, still in this race and still in that battle then with Plaster. C3 with that DRS open, trying to close in on Poe on harder tyres. And speaking of Traw here, he's finding himself in 7th place, falling away from Poe. Mays here on some super soft tyres is the next to try and attack this lot on the soft tyres. Baumgartner then chasing down Steph as Humbug comes into the pits then to change onto a new set of tyres. Still it's Baumgartner trying to chase down Steph as Lambo will take the lead of the race as he's on super soft tyres. my thinking is then that Lambo is going to have to pit again. Yellow flags in Sector 3, and Darren Sinclair has retired from the session. I think he's gone off on his own there. Well, Darren Sinclair, that is coming out on the exit of turn 8, I believe. And that is a disaster for the second place man in the championship. And in all of that, Raikkonen manages to pass Plaster. Poe now trying to go down the inside of Plaster, heading into turn 4. As Poe gets that move done, moves himself up into 4th place. Light E then trying to defend from Alan Kay here. And Light E's in 9th, Alan Kay 10th. As I'm trying to keep up with everything that's happened so far. We've got Humbug trying to chase down Blizzard, as he's Humbug's just rejoined the track, so Blizzard's rejoined ahead of him, and Blizzard there using all the track to try and get away from Humbug, but it's not working right now. Raikkonen comes into the pits for another stop as we head through. Raikkonen's picked himself a stop-go penalty, very easy to do, and especially when you're pushing as hard like that, it's very easy to get us just a penalty like that. As we head with Humbug now up into turn 1, we're going to ride on board with Mays here. He's only a 10th behind Z3. We've got Draw here down the inside of Plaster. Z3 is trying to defend from Mays, but realises it's not worth doing and lets Mays go. Mays up into 6th place. You can see there Traw up into 4th. Light E and Z3 are having a good battle here. The battle between the Ferraris. I think a little bit of team orders came into effect there. Z3 didn't put up too much of a fight there for Light E, but Light E moves up into 7th place. Baumgartner then on ultra soft tyres behind Raikkonen on where it says super softs here. Super softs are on his car, but apparently according to the telemetry it says soft tyres, so I think in that case you have to go with what the game tells you on the telemetry. So I think Raikkonen is actually on the soft tyre, but obviously the red wall there just going out to confuse everybody. A little bit of a nice camera angle here. Unfortunately, it doesn't really show much, but you can see there as the Renault runs wide there of Steph, and Steph just about keeps it on the track, but that opens up for Baumgartner now as Steph goes on the defensive. Baumgartner here is going to have a good run going into turn 1, and what is this going to be? Is this going to be carnage as Baumgartner squeezes his way through? There's contact between the 3 of them, and Baumgartner, Steph collided there, got hooked up with one another, and that involved Raikkonen in the incident as well, as Raikkonen puts it into the wall and retires from the session. Steph there recovers and rejoins in 15th place, but with only half a front wing. Baumgartner there, has he got any damage at all? I'm not entirely sure. There might be some damage to the left hand side of that front wing as we come through the picture now. I don't know, I can't quite tell, but yeah, a big incident between the 3 of them there, which has left with Raikkonen out of the race. As you can see there, there's a bit of a nightmare. I don't know if you saw that with the pit crew. Super softs on the front hand tyres, softs on the rear. So, well, that is an interesting strategy from Red Bull there. Humbug on the back of Alan Kay as we head towards turn 1. On the soft tyres, Alan Kay's been on these soft tyres for since the start of the race actually, so this should be an easier move for Humbug as we head towards turn 3. Is he going to try and move? He thought about it, but decides to stay put for now. Blaster then, Light E has managed to get past him. Z3 has got to try and defend from Blizzard all he can, and Blizzard here trying to go down the inside into turn 4, gets the move done. Z3 doesn't really do much to defend against him, lets him go, knows he's racing his own race here. So Blizzard then moves up into 8th place. Humbug on Alan Kay as Steph has now retired from the session. He comes into the pit lane, he's had enough for today, and he will retire the car. Humbug then still on the back of Alan Kay as we head through. Odd camera angle there if I want to see the battle behind, but there we go. Humbug just reacting a little bit to that Alan Kay loss of back end, and we'll see Humbug now trying to chase down Alan Kay. Meanwhile then, Blizzard trying to go down the inside of Plaster there, picks himself up a 3-second time penalty for that curb mount there, but it may be worth it in the end because he's got himself up into 7th place. Humbug now has got a chance to try and get past Alan Kay coming up into turn 3. Doesn't quite get the move done there, but he will try it on the exit. He will have DRS as well coming down into turn 4. And will he make that move stick? Will he try a move? Will he look up the inside? Has a look, but doesn't go with a move, doesn't commit. Z3 then in the Ferrari trying to chase down Plaster now. And as you can see in the background, there's Alan Kay and there's Humbug. And how long now can Alan Kay get through the race on those soft tyres, I wonder? As we head through turn 7 and then through turn 8, Alan Kay still holding on, as he still hasn't stopped. Neither have Z3 and Plaster, so those 8th, 9th and 10th haven't stopped yet. As we can check that for sure. Yep, that's the last 3 to go out, and Alan Kay runs wide there, and that's an easy move for Humbug. Maybe one of the easiest moves he's had in TTL, but Alan Kay ran wide, and I think it was just inevitable. Humbug on fresher tyres to just try and get past. Z3 then still trying to chase down Plaster here. In the slipstream, opens the DRS, and in the slipstream he goes. Z3 then on Plaster. Can he try and get this move done for 8th place? Has a look, double checks, down the inside, contact made, but he's got the move done. Z3 up into 8th place, ahead of Plaster now. It's a move that he needed to make stick, and he can try and pull away now. We're riding on board then with Light E, who's trying to chase down Maze, who's on soft tyres. Maze up ahead, apparently on super softs, and I think Maze here is going to need to stop again. It's a real split strategy, the 1-stop versus the 2-stop around Austria. Which one do you go with? It's very tricky. All depends on how you manage your tyres and how quick you are on those tyres. Plaster then, still now, sorry, I don't know why I had like a brain freeze there. Yeah, so he's under pressure now from Humbug, who's on the back of just overtaking Alan Kay, and you'll see now how quickly he's managed to reel him in now, Humbug, on the fresher tyres. That's how effective they are. Light E still trying to chase down Maze. We're going to jump back on board with Humbug now, who's only 3/10 behind. There's a good chance here to try and get a move done into turn 4. Into the DRS he goes, in the slipstream, goes down the inside, and Humbug launches it down the inside. Has he got that move stuck? And he has. Plaster then doesn't really have a reply. Humbug up into 9th place. Light E then chasing down Maze. Maze, who's probably got to stop once more, as Light E here coming into turn 9 and then through turn 10. You've got to get this absolutely right, as we'll see here coming down the DRS straight, the main straight, as not really an overtaking opportunity in this DRS zone. It's the second DRS zone you need to set yourself up for. The first of those 3 who hadn't stopped yet, Plaster, is into the pits. So he's trying to try and get the undercut done between Z3 and Alan Kay. So I wonder now what's going to happen. He puts on some super soft tyres. Not confident yet to go to the end on ultra softs. Now that's an interesting strategy there. Useless is into the pits now, as he puts on a set of super softs. Is that? Yes, it is super softs. And I wonder now where the 2 friends are going to rejoin with each other, Useless and Weed Nation. Weed Nation rejoins then well ahead of Weed Nation. He'll rejoin in 14th place. Light E still trying to chase down Maze. Battle for 5th place here as we head towards turn 9. It's all about getting those exits right, as we'll see Traw coming through the picture there, as Maze trying to defend from Light E. We'll see further back here, Humbug has managed to close the gap right up to Z3 here, as now he's in the DRS straight, in the slipstream, and we're on lap 22. Lambo leads the way, but questions will be asked if we can make it to the end on those super soft tyres. We'll see now. Look how close Humbug is now to Z3. You can see how those fresher tyres work as we head towards into turn 2. Z3 going defensive, trying to cover the inside line going into turn 3. And there we go. Humbug up into 8th place there. Z3 doesn't put up too much of a fight, and Humbug now up into 8th place. Light E then still trying to get onto the back of Mays here. Knows how important it is. He needs to get past. His draw's not too far up the road. We've got a battle here for 13th place. This is between Baumgartner and Useless. Baumgartner down the inside of Useless, and has he got the move done? Useless there can't quite defend on the older tyres. Drops down into 14th, but I'm going to say that's not the move done just yet. Useless there, still trying to find a way past Baumgartner, but he can't quite find it. Yellow flags in Sector 2, as we've got Alan Kay off. Alan Kay has found a way off now. I wonder what that was. That is coming into the pit lane there. Did he just lose the back end coming into the pits? Well, in any case, he might have to change that front wing, in which case, advantage Plaster, because he's coming around the pit straight now. Passes Alan Kay, and he's just got Z3 now. So Alan Kay, apparently on the telemetry it's ultra softs, and the tyres are freaking out, which is obviously the case for a Codemasters game. But as we head towards the pit lane, what tyre is Alan Kay on? He's on super softs, and there you can see a Force India there of Useless. Is that or is that Lambo? I think that's actually Lambo. It is Lambo. It's your race leader, Lambo. So Alan Kay then finds himself and rejoins a lap down. Light E then down the inside of Mays. Has he finally got a move? Has he finally got the move done? Heading into turn 1, Mays runs wide and opens himself up to Blizzard now. So Light E gets the move done. Now Blizzard is on the tail of Mays as we head towards in through turn 2. Now coming up to turn 3, Blizzard going down the inside of Mays. Will they give each other room? Yes, they will. And Blizzard gets the move done, moves ahead of Mays here. And now his next target, Light E. So Z3 pits and will rejoin on super soft tyres. There's Plaster. There's the Red Bull of Plaster. Now has Z3 got it. Coming through here. Now they're going to be neck and neck here. Now this was the battle of the one-stoppers. As we see here, the midfield one-stoppers. As I think Z3, in terms of pit strategy, has won this out. Mays then still trying to chase down Blizzard as we see Poe coming into the pits, and this will probably be then a change onto Ultra Softs for the end of the race, and he'll just push now towards the end. We've got 12 laps to go then, 12 laps on the Ultras, doable, as Weed Nation sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:08.5. Poe then, where will he rejoin? As Humbug goes through the picture, Poe then will rejoin, assuming in front of Z3. Z3 around 40 seconds back from Poe here, so there you have it then. Poe rejoins in 8th place. We ride on board with Blizzard, who's trying to chase down this man, Light E, and you can see Mays in the background there, ready to pounce on any mistakes these two drivers make. Light E in 4th place right now, Blizzard in 5th. And if we've got to catch a breath or anything, we will try and run through some standings. At the moment though, it's just been all action. Lambo comes into the pits, and that is obviously to go onto some ultra soft tyres. So there he goes. Baumgartner trying to go down the inside of Pazels here, but he can't quite find the gap as he's got Useless behind him as well. So he's got to be careful here, as we'll keep an eye on that telemetry to see where Lambo rejoins. As Baumgartner trying to go down the inside there. Is there enough room for him and Pazels going through turn 4? You saw Pazels' hand come flying out there. He wasn't happy with the move. As we head through into turn 6. And Pazels there runs slightly wide. Baumgartner slightly taps the back. That invites Eustace to try and have a go as well. As they head through turn 7, then through turn 8. Pazels here still ahead of these two now. But Baumgartner and Eustace are going to get frustrated in this slipstream. Baumgartner then, is he going to try and move? Going into well, he's run wide slightly, and Eustace now has a chance to try and get both three of them. Yes, he does. He gets ahead of Baumgartner there, and Eustace now has a chance to try and get onto Pazos now, who runs wide, and that should be an easy move for Eustace, and it is. Eustace now up into 11th place. Baumgartner then, can he get a move done on these guys? Baumgartner then trying to launch it up the inside of Pazos. Contact made. They both raised their hands there, and Baumgartner gets up into 12th place. Blizzard here on the back of Light E, and both of them here. Oh, as Light E runs very wide there, and that just allows Blizzard straight through, and Blizzard now up into 4th place. The championship leader is still ahead of Darren Sinclair. Will pull a gap over him for definite if he finishes here, but race leader Spike 12 seconds ahead of Traw has got his work cut out for him. He just needs to keep it on the track. That's easier said than done. So if we've got a little bit of breathing space, have we, to try and go through some results at the moment? I think we just about have. So we'll go through them now, and if anything happens, I'm very sorry. So it's Spike leading the way. Traw is in 2nd. Lambo in 3rd as he runs very wide onto the curbs there. Blizzard is 4th. Light E 5th. Poe is in 6th. Humbug 7th. Maze in 8th. Z3 9th. Plaster 10th. Useless 11th. Baumgartner 12th. Pazos 13th. He's in the pit lane. Drops to 14th there. Alan K 13th at the moment. Weed Nation 15th place. We'll now go back on board with Light E there because he's got some pace here, keeping up with Blizzard at the moment. Crossing the line here, Lambo sets a 1:08.0 for the fastest lap of the race, and heading through turn 1 now. Lambo here is also on the back of Traw as he looks to try and get that move done. He's on ultra soft tyres as I think we've got 9 laps to go, I believe that is. But yes, still trying to chase down Traw with those ultra soft tyres, and you'd think he's able to catch him, but Traw is a fantastic defender when it comes to these sorts of situations. He's done it before, and he could definitely do it again as we head now through turn 6, and Traw trying to hold on, but how much longer can he hold on for? Into turn 7 as Lambo trying to get up and use the space there that Traw's given him, and looks like Lambo there has got the move done and moves up into 2nd place, and Traw there tried his best to keep up, but unfortunately just on those ultra soft tyres Lambo looks too quick. Now with 8 laps to go, Lambo has got 12.6 between himself and Spike. It is a huge gap, but nothing's going to stop Lambo now. He's on a charge. Baumgartner and Useless still on each other's tails as Baumgartner in 12th place, Useless up in 11th, as we'll see now. Baumgartner on the ultra soft tyres, Useless on supers, and in the books then you can see Baumgartner on the ultra soft should be faster, but it all depends on tyre wear and how well you can manage those tyres. Towards the end, Useless runs wide, as so does Baumgartner, picks up some grass as well, and that's going to slow him down, and he'll lose momentum coming up into turn 1. So you can see Blizzard on his way through. That was Lambo, who is now 11.1 behind Spike there with 7 laps to go. At that pace, he's not going to catch him. Yeah, at that pace, that's definitely not going to happen. Poe, though, could happen as the Samba there dives out of the way. Poe trying to chase down Light E now for 5th place. And, well, Light E has those penalties. Poe here trying to have a late charge here. He's got yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2. As is that Lambo? It is Lambo! Oh dear, what's happened there? Has he lost it on his own coming out of turn 3? Well, if so, he's dropped now down into 4th place, and that's awarded Blizzard 3rd place here. Lambo's day has just got from to podium. He could have had a podium, and now he's going to struggle now to keep it in 4th place with a broken front wing like that. Will he stop again, or with 7 laps to go, will he keep it out on track? Blizzard then, this has opened up an opportunity for him to try and move up a position. You can see there, I think that's his teammate Weed Nation right behind him, just trying to get some slipstream and try and let himself catch up to Alan Kay ahead. He's got 16 seconds to gain, and as you can see, Weed Nation is actually on super soft tyres, and I think at the moment Weed Nation is going to try and find a way past, is he? Into turn 1 they go, and definitely Blizzard will not be wanting that at all, as his teammate there, Weed Nation, is trying to get past. You can see he is quicker on those super soft tyres, as he probably would be, and yeah, it always happens when the that car behind is on fresher tyres, at least. And Blizzard into, you can see now he's paused it, now he's back. That's going to confuse Weed Nation even more there. Behind him though, you can see Poe trying to chase down Light E. We've got the Sauber there, I believe that is Pazel's behind. And you can see Light E running wide, coming into turn 6. That's inviting pressure from Poe into turn 7. And from Light E's perspective, this doesn't look good at all here. He's on the soft tyres with 5 laps to go now. Spike could probably cruise it towards the end, but of course when it comes to the latter stages and you've got a 14-second gap, that's when you can be the most dangerous. You've got to keep on it. Here comes Poe then on the inside of Light E. Light E's going to make it very difficult for him to go down the inside as Poe picks up all those marbles, as the two of them get very close, and both of them get a good exit in the end, but that's inviting pressure from Pazel's behind them, who's ready to unlap himself if the opportunity arises. Poe trying to go down the inside of Light E. Has he got the move done as they head into turn number 3? And Poe has got the move done. But Light E will have DRS there if Poe picks up some grass. And you can see now Light E's going to have a go down the inside of Poe now, coming into turn 4. And they touch. The two of them touch. And apologies there, my voice was starting to give out. I've been non-stop talking in this race. Now Poe is down the inside of Light E. Poe loses the back end slightly, and then Light E is just able to take the position back. Well, as you can see then, Light E holds on for dear life for this 4th place. 4 laps to go. Spike leading the way then. Traw is in 2nd, and Blizzard in 3rd. That's your podium at the moment. Meanwhile then, Poe is on the inside of Light E. Light E makes it very difficult to try and go down the inside there. And Poe then will have to wait for his next opportunity, which is probably now. It gets a great exit coming out of turn 1 there. Look at that momentum he's built here. Coming out of turn 1 through turn 2 now. There was the DRS point there. Lambo sits a 107.1 as he did pit in to get some new ultra softs. But as you can see there, Poe, has he got the move this time? As he has. And of course both of them don't have DRS, because I think they crossed the DRS line at the same time. So neither of them got DRS from that point, and Poe then, has he got the move done? Well, Light E's going to try around the outside, but there we have it. Poe has at last got that move done, and he'll be relieved about that. Mays then trying to chase down Humbug, this for 6th place, and Mays here only a 10th behind according to the telemetry. We'll see here Humbug try and defend with those soft tyres. And Humbug getting a little bit tail happy coming out of there. Mays will just wait for his opportunity. 3 laps to go. Mays is just looking for that opportunity he needs to get past. He's got plenty of time, although it's going to be rapidly decreasing. We've only got about 3 minutes left of this race, if that, before that checkered flag falls, of course. It's very quick laps around here, so you get less time than you think. Spike then heading through into turn 6 now. We're just keeping an eye on the leader. Meanwhile then, Mays still trying to find a way past Humbug. Has he got a move here? He'll try down the inside, thinks better of it, and stays behind him again. But they have DRS here coming down the straight here as we're coming into the slipstream. Humbug goes defensive. Now Mays will go offensive and thinks about a move down the inside, but just stays out of it for now. Spike then comes across the line to start the penultimate lap of the race. 2 laps to go. So time's running out for Mays to try and make his move. Baumgartner behind as well. In 12th place, has got to try and find a way past Plaster as well for 11th. As Poe here trying to chase down Blizzard. Now can Blizzard hold on to his podium for 2 more laps? We've got a good battle here. Baumgartner, does he find a way past Plaster? Plaster just about holding on, but we've got to keep an eye on so many other battles as well as the leader as well. Mays here trying to chase down Poe on the back of Blizzard, as Plaster here, as he got the defensive he has. He defends from Baumgartner for just a lap more, as Mays here on the back of Humbug. We've also got Poe here trying to take away Blizzard's podium away from him. Coming down into turn 4, he tries to switch left and right, chooses right, down the inside. Has he just caused an upset here for Blizzard? I think he has, as Poe here moves up into 3rd place, and Blizzard's not going to be happy. Spike then is going to start the last lap of the race. Poe then moves up into 3rd place from Blizzard. We've got Mays then on the back of Humbug, who's got to try and make this move done. It's now or never now, as we're heading on to the final lap. Meanwhile, Baumgartner and Plaster still trying to battle it out now, and Baumgartner got a better exit coming out of turn 3, and as you can see there, he's got the move done. Mays then still trying to chase down Humbug here. Humbug runs slightly wide, and this could be an opportunity for Mays if he can try and hold on Humbug to his 6th place. Mays trying to go round the outside going into turn 1. He'll try the cutback though and get a better exit. I got to keep an eye on Spike as well, who's coming through sector 2 now, and Mays and Humbug going to go side by side coming into turn 3 now, as Mays has the inside line. Does he have the move done? Going into turn 3 now, and yes he does. He'll get out there and he'll take that position away from Humbug, and Mays moves up into 6th place. Well, it's been drama non-stop. I don't think I've actually stopped talking for the last 5 minutes now, but Spike coming around the final corner now. He'll head towards the line, and Spike is going to take victory here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Draw there in 2nd, comes through the final set of corners now, and he keeps up his impressive podium run. He'll come across the line in 2nd place, but Light E has overtaken Blizzard there. Poe comes across the line to take the podium. Light E then comes across the line to claim 4th place, as what's happened to Blizzard? Blizzard here's run out of fuel. Blizzard runs out of fuel, I don't believe it, and will claim 8th place. But Humbug finished in 5th, Light E 6th, Lambo finishes in 7th in the end, as we'll have Z3 here coming around the final few corners, as he runs wide, and that's going to give Eustace a position there as he dives down the inside. Yeah, he takes it, and Eustace there comes across in 9th, then there's Z3 in 10th. Well, an impressive battle there. So Plaster's going to come home in 11th, Baumgartner 12th. What a race! And Spike kept his cool and takes the race win. Well, there we have it. There's your podium there. Spike takes the race win. Traw in 2nd. Poe takes 3rd place. What a race that was. So then your official, unofficial results. Spike takes the race win, Traw in 2nd, Poe in 3rd, Mays takes 4th, Humbug 5th, Light E 6th, Lambo 7th, Blizzard in 8th, Useless 9th, Z3 10th, Plaster 11th, Baumgartner 12th, Alan K 13th, Massa there apparently in 14th, Paisl's 15th, and all the drivers there that left the session. Well, dramatic towards the end there, that's for sure, especially with Blizzard running out of fuel. That's going to take a huge leap in the drivers' standings. Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That was a fantastic race. And I know I keep saying that every single time, but honestly, it is. The side-by-side action is absolutely incredible, and it's been absolutely amazing here today. The next race for the drivers then is Silverstone, Great Britain, and I do hope you can join us for then. But until Silverstone, I'm going to go and catch my breath. I've been Gary McGinley, you've been watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.